Hello, everybody, and welcome to Recurrent Review. Today, we are going to talk about the latest album from Katatonia, Nightmares as Extensions of the Waking State. This record came out on Friday, June 6, 2025. It's just a couple of days later when I'm reviewing it. And let's be honest, everybody who's ever watched any show where I'm on where Katatonia gets brought up knows that I love this album, Sky Boy of Stars from 2023. It's my favorite Katatonia album. I should also say that I'm relatively new to Katatonia. I started listening to them with this album, so I've only been listening to them for a couple of years. But, one of the things that I saw the other day, or actually it was earlier today, is that there was an advertisement on Facebook about this album, Nightmares as Extensions of the Waking State, and in the advertisement, Katatonia themselves said, and this is a quote: "For fans of albums that reward patience, this album reveals itself with every listen." And I think that that's pretty accurate. Will this album have as much immediate, I say immediate, Sky Boy to Stars was kind of a little bit of a slow burn on its own, but Sky Boy to Stars has a lot of pop sensibilities and a lot of memorable songs that stick in your head. And I remember the first time I heard Atrium, I was just blown away by it, and I liked it instantly. And I was playing it for people who don't listen to metal, and they were all like, hey, this is good, I like this. Will this album have that kind of immediacy and familiarity with all the tunes in kind of a very melodic kind of way? And the answer is probably. It has revealed itself to me. Like, I've been learning the tracks. It's taken a couple of days, but some of them have really sunk in, and we'll talk about that later when we go through the tracks. But I have to give them credit for these three albums, starting with City Burials from 2020, and then Sky Boy to Stars, and this new one. These three albums are all different from each other. They have elements in common, but they're different albums. Very, very interesting. I mean, you have to really give. I was afraid that I was going to be disappointed with this record, because I listened to some of the interviews. And by the way, if you haven't seen any of the press about this album, it's very, very good and very entertaining. There's a guitar playthrough that's very, very good, a very fun watch. And so definitely, look at the press, look at the interviews, look at the playthrough, and it's all a lot of fun. But one of the things that Jonas Rensk said was, he said, I'm introducing two new guitarists, which we'll talk about in a minute. So I couldn't make an album that was 60% keyboards. And I thought to myself, oh no, there's not going to be enough keyboards. He's going to strip the keyboards back. But he does not. I need not have worried about that. So if you like the atmospheric way this band sounds from the last 3, 4, 5, 6 albums, really, you're going to be happy. But this record is, first of all, we'll talk about the personnel changes. Sky Boy to Stars, longtime guitarist founding member Anders Nystrom and Roger Ogerson, I think I'm saying that right, they are not on Nightmares as Extensions of the Waking State. They have been replaced with a gentleman named Nico Elgstrand, and another guy named Sebastian Svaland. And Nico Elgstrand is 53 and Sebastian Svaland is 34, which I think is really cool because, there's 20 years difference between them. And Sebastian is quite a bit younger than I think, I didn't look up all their ages, but I think most of the other members. Rhythm section is the same, Nicholas Sandin and Daniel Moilanen. On bass and drums, respectively, vocals, keyboards, Jonas Rensk. And so there is a difference. There are two new guitarists. So is that apparent? Not really. They play the right things what you'd expect them to play. We'll talk about it when we go through the tracks, but there's a couple of solos that sound like they could have been right off of the old lineup. So if I could say anything about what's different about this album from the previous album, it has more variance in the tone of the tracks. There's more variance there's more of an up and down with heavy and mellow, like there is on City Burials, and less of I always think of Sky Void of Stars, and I may be biased because this is, that was my introduction, but I always think of Sky Void of Stars as being kind of bam, 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 bam. Every song kind of gets in your face and is uber melodic and accessible and so it's less of that, and it's more like City Burials, but a heavier version, I think, of City Burials. Lead guitar is very crunchy, heavy, intense. If you like the riffage, you will like this album. So don't be afraid that it's too mellow, because that's not necessarily the case. One of the things I noticed about this album, though, whereas on Sky Void of Stars there were some songs where the introduction of Jonas's vocals were a little bit more aggressive. I mean, they always tended to be where their songs start out kind of heavy, and then once he starts singing, it's a little mellower. But there are a couple of songs on Sky Void of Stars where the vocals are a little bit more aggressive. On this album, pretty much all the songs are, if there's a heavy open to the song, it's followed by very quiet, gentle vocals by Jonas Brensk. If you like him, that's not an issue, because you'll think, oh, it sounds like Katatonia. So it starts out with Thrice, which is really heavy and crunchy and intense at the beginning. And it's got a really unique arrangement that sort of gets into this kind of droney thing that is really atmospheric and cool. Very different song for them. I thought, of course, I only go back about 6 or 7 albums with them. So, but anyway, I thought it was unique for them. And then the second track, The Liquid Eye, is kind of more what you expect. That was the moment where I went, oh, okay, well, I am going to hear some stuff that's like the previous album. Melodic, probably the song that's the most like Sky Void of Stars. There's a couple more songs like that. Melodic keyboards in it. Wind of No Change, the third track, it's one of the, it was the third of the 3 pre-release tracks. Wind of No Change has a satanic theme, and it's really funny because I saw a YouTube comment on the lyric video for it where somebody said, you could lose me with this stuff, I canceled my pre-order. Well, first of all, I don't think you can cancel a pre-order, but the other thing I thought of was this. It's like, just because, first of all, a metal band doing something satanic themed really should not, I mean, that's not my thing, but I certainly, if I'm going to listen to metal, I certainly can't be afraid that somebody may do something satanic. But just because somebody writes a song with that kind of a theme doesn't mean that they're a Satanist themselves, and it certainly doesn't mean that they're trying to make you one. So I think you have to take Wind of No Change as, Jonas Rensk said that he wanted to do a song with that theme, and I think it is what it is. It's art and it's fiction, and so I don't know how much of it he actually feels, but it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. It's got a choir in it, and it's really cool because it's a choir of 2 people. It's not a whole choir. It's a male vocalist and a female vocalist layered, and really cool. Really, really, really great song. Lilac was the first of the 3 pre-release tracks, and it is another song that's similar to Sky Void of Stars, but it also has kind of it shifts gears like about 3/4 of the way through, and it has this epic kind of prog melody that's got a lot of keyboard strings in the background, and so it seems to me like something a little bit more like the album you can see behind me, Dead End Kings. It sort of reminds me of that. Very, very good track. Like a lot of these tracks, gets under your skin after a while. And speaking of that, Temporal, the fifth song that closes side one, is probably, that was the second of the three pre-release tracks. That's probably the one that really opens up the most. It's very melodic. It didn't seem like it when it came out, but it's very melodic, and it has a guitar solo that sounds very similar to something that would have been played on the previous album by a previous guitarist. So I meant to do this at the beginning. Let's do like a little unboxing of the vinyl. I've already opened it up, so there it is right there. I was worried about the art when I first saw it, because I was like, there's not any birds, and actually there is. The birds are up in the sky over here. And just very cool. It's got like this gold flake on the logo, and these embers that are kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but they kind of are in gold as well. And then on the back, with each track, there's a shiny gold or bronze, whatever it is, kind of effect on the track numbers. And then this is the inside, kind of a more panoramic view. And this album, and specifically the last song in the event of, was inspired by a nightmare that Jonas actually had. And so if you pull out the I've gone and gotten this stuck, the insert that comes out on the inside, there's another piece of art. It's like a Black Widow spider on a Zippo lighter, and then a pretty cool photo of the band. They pretty much always kind of look like this in their band photos. They're very cool. The second gentleman and the fifth gentleman are the two new guys, Nico and Sebastian. And then the other three guys should seem familiar. And then if you open it up, you get lyrics. So pretty nice. I only have one complaint about the packaging of the album, and that it suffers from Sgt. Pepper syndrome. When you turn it around, it is backwards. So you have to put it in your collection like this if you want it to look like this and not that. So that's annoying. I'm not sure why. I don't know whether that's a mistake or whether they did it on purpose. But again, the gold flaking on the name of the album, the name of the band. It's pretty cool. So that's the vinyl. I was not going to buy the CD, but I ended up buying the CD because the art book, the little book CD, the book version, it's got 2 bonus tracks on it, and one of the bonus tracks is a remix of, I believe, Wind of No Change, but the other bonus track is a cover of Kiss's A World Without Heroes from the Elder album, which I think is, I saw that and I was like, buy the CD. So I don't have it yet, but I will also have the deluxe version of the CD. So let's go on to side 2, Departure Trails, mellow, melodic, electric piano. There's about 3 songs in here on this album that have some really gorgeous electric piano. Just beautiful sounding, and just excellent. I can't say enough about how the electric piano sounds. Just absolutely stunning. The arrangement is sort of reminiscent, again, of a song that might have appeared on Dead End Kings. And then when I was listening to it a couple of days in, I was like, this reminds me of a Skyboy to Stars song. What is it? And then I figured out today that it was not. It reminds me of Departure Trails. It reminds me of itself. I've learned it, and now I'm familiar with it. It's like that song. Oh, it's like this song. So again, and we're going to talk about this with the next song too. These songs really do reveal themselves. This album seemed to be less melodic and less memorable than the 2 previous albums until I spent a couple of days with them. And that's not an excuse. I always feel like you should wait 3-4 days before you review something, because if it reveals itself to you, it's not going to happen in the first 24/48 hours. It's going to happen over time. So track 2 on side 2, Warden. Again, more melodic than it seemed at first listen. That song revealed itself to me today. And guitar sound, very reminiscent of something that would have been on Dead End Kings. The Light Which I Bleed, which is the 8th track, starts with a very creative chord progression. And it's the only song with a fade out. One of the things I like about Katatonia is they always come up with an inventive way to end each song. But this is the only song, The Light Which I Bleed, that fades out and it's perfect. The fade out is the perfect way to end the song, and it's a long fade out too. It's got like 30 seconds or 40 seconds left when it starts fading out, and so it's a long fade out. Very, very effective. Really, really good stuff. Ninth track. I've heard it pronounced both ways, but I'm going to pronounce it Eftersolen. I've also heard it pronounced Eftersolen. It's Swedish for After the Sun. This song is in Swedish, which is very cool. Beautiful vocal track. It's got some EDM elements in it. It's very atmospheric, a lot of electronic elements in it, and just a beautiful melody. Very, very calming and really cool. There was nothing like that on Sky Void of Stars, so that's really cool. And then the last song, In the Event of, is the one that Jonas has said describes a nightmare that he had a while back, and it's really pretty dark and epic, and it's got it's really a good closer. It's got some really spooky keyboard sounds at the end of it, and it's very, 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 very cool. And I'll let you hear some of the lyrics. Well, I'll just read it because it's one of the things I like about this band is their brevity and their lyrical content. It's like saying a lot with not that many words. But this is In the Event of. Televised static shade suspended overhead. We're awaiting the terror. It's in our eyes. It's in our lungs. It's in the making now and growing out of sight. I'm shivering on the pavement. Incoherent, the landscape flickering with weaponry, we're taken. Subtitled, the peril, chained to the skies. Subtitled, if you read this, it means you still have eyes. Gravitate at the end of days, awaiting the blast amid the wild blue yonder, Synchronized suicide, 8 bells for what I've seen. Mothers waiting in rows for the shadows of their children. Mothers waiting in rows for the shadows of their children. So, dark stuff. Again, the words, when they're presented in Katatonia style, are very epic and really puts you in a melancholic mood, like any Katatonia album would. So I think this is a very strong album. I had to adjust my expectations. I was afraid that I wasn't gonna like it, and when I first heard it, I was like, well, I like it, but I'm not gonna like it as much as the last one. And now, you know what? I don't know. Will it reveal itself to be one of my absolute favorites, like Sky Void of Stars? Maybe it might. I think it has the potential to do that, but it is intentionally different from the two albums that came in front of it. I mean, does it have anything as good as Vanishers from this album, which is one of my favorite songs? I don't know. Probably not. Does it have anything as good as Impermanence or Opaline from this album? Maybe not, but maybe, as it reveals itself. So, for a rating, I'm going to give this album a 9. And I gave Sky Void of the Stars a 9.5, I think, when I rated this. It topped my end of the year list for 2023. I believe I gave it a 9.5, and I cut it a half point because I didn't think that the closer, No Beacon to Illuminate Our Fall, which is a stunning track, I wanted a more epic closer, and that's kind of a disturbing closer, and which is cool. It's very effective, but I really felt like that album should have had something more melodic than that at the end. And this album, I think, does with In the Event of. I think that's a really kind of an epic closing for an album. But like I said, I don't think that I'm gonna love it as much as Sky Void of Stars. So that has a 9.5. I'm giving Nightmares as Extensions of the Waking State a 9. So definitely pick this up, stream it. Even if you've never heard this band before, this is a very easy band to like. And so I hope you enjoyed the review. And as always, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to. And we'll be back soon with some more stuff. See ya.